Okay, let's talk about something we all deal with. Those common and super frustrating household plumbing problems. Well, we're about to uncover the surprising story hidden behind them. Turns out there's a battle happening right under our homes, and in this explainer, we're going to see who's winning. You've definitely seen these signs before, right? A slow drain, maybe some kind of discolored water coming out of the faucet. You probably just think, it's normal wear and tear, something a quick call to the plumber can fix. And hey, you're not wrong, but you're also not seeing the whole picture. Because the real cause, especially if you live in a coastal city, isn't just a simple faulty part. No, it's an invisible war. On one side, you've got the pipes and the infrastructure that keep our homes running. And on the other side, the relentless, powerful forces of the natural environment. And this conflict, it's happening 24/7 right under your feet. All right, so let's dive into this unseen war. We're going to see how it looks like a simple plumbing failure is actually a casualty in this bigger conflict between our homes and the coastal world that surrounds them. This quote really hits the nail on the head. In a place like North Miami, location is absolutely everything. See, being near the coast isn't just about the beautiful views. It actually creates this uniquely hostile environment for the pipes that we rely on every single day. So, what exactly are we up against here? Well, in this next section, we're going to meet the key players on nature's side of this battle. You could even call them the environmental enemies that are constantly on the attack. And these four forces, they often work together to create a perfect storm. First, you've got saltwater intrusion, which just creeps into the ground, eating away at pipes. Then there are the high water tables, putting this constant crushing pressure on the whole system. You also have these aggressive tropical tree roots acting like subterranean invaders, looking for any tiny crack. And to top it all off, the hard limestone bedrock can make any potential repair a huge, difficult operation. So the thing that makes these forces so incredibly damaging is just how persistent they are, right? These aren't one-time events. They are constant, relentless pressures that are always seeking out any weakness, basically turning a simple pipe into a ticking time bomb.
Okay, so this constant pressure, as you can imagine, leads to some pretty catastrophic failures. So let's look at three specific types of pipes that have really become major casualties in this fight.
First up, we've got galvanized steel. Now, if your home was built before, say, the mid-70s, there's a good chance you have these pipes. For decades, they were the standard. That shiny zinc coating on the outside, that was supposed to protect the steel from rust. But in a coastal environment, well, it was just no match. See, the real problem with galvanized pipes in this kind of environment is that salt water actually accelerates corrosion from the inside out. And that's the scary part, because it means you often don't see the damage until it's way too late. A sudden pinhole leak that floods a wall, or that telltale brownish water coming from your tap. All right, next on our list, polybutylene pipes. This was supposed to be the pipe of the future for homes built between about 1978 and 1995. And you can see why. It was cheap, it was flexible, super easy to install. But it came with a fatal flaw that pretty much nobody saw coming. Get this, the very thing we use to keep our water safe, chlorine, is what actually destroys these pipes. It attacks the plastic, making it incredibly brittle over time. So they don't just leak, they shatter. This defect was so widespread that it led to one of the biggest class action lawsuits in history, Cox versus Shell Oil. It's also why, even today, some insurance companies just plain won't cover a house with these pipes. Okay, for our last one, let's step outside the house and look at the main sewer line. In a lot of older, more established neighborhoods, these lines are made of clay. And for a long time, that was a perfectly good material. But it has one specific vulnerability, one that tropical plants are absolute experts at exploiting. We're talking about a silent invasion here. Trees like ficus and oak have these incredibly aggressive root systems that can literally sense water from far away. They'll push their way into the tiny joints between sections of clay pipe, and once they're inside, they just expand, creating this massive, impenetrable blockage. And the results? Yeah, it's exactly what you're thinking. A messy, disruptive sewage backup right into your home. Not fun. Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a big one. But what's the solution? Well, fortunately, engineering and regulation have fought back. In this next section, we're going to look at the modern arsenal of materials and the official rules of engagement that are designed to actually win this war. So today, when you're looking at repiping a house, you've got two main contenders, PEX and copper. PEX is a flexible plastic that's chemically inert, which makes it fantastic at resisting corrosion. Then you have copper, which is kind of the time-tested veteran. Yeah, it's more expensive, but its natural properties help prevent bacterial growth, and it has a proven track record of lasting 50 years or more. So really, the choice often boils down to budget versus longevity. And this whole process is here for a reason, to make sure it's not the Wild West out there. To ensure new installations are actually built to last, a licensed pro has to pull a permit. They have to do the work according to strict building codes, and then, this is key, they have to get it inspected by a county official. That final approval sticker, that's your guarantee that the job was done right and your home is protected. Look, all this information is great, but how do you actually apply it? Well, this final section is your homeowner playbook. It's all about making smart decisions to protect your own home. Probably the most important decision you'll make is knowing who to trust. A real pro is going to give you flat rate pricing and clearly explain your options. They'll actually show you the broken part and verify their license. On the other hand, you got to be wary of the red flags, scare tactics, demanding full payment upfront, or, and this is a huge one, anybody who suggests skipping the permit process. Run away for that. So, to really take control of the situation, you need to arm yourself with these 5 key questions. Ask them, are you licensed and insured here in Florida? Will this job require a permit? What are all my options, not just the most expensive one? Is this a flat rate price, or are you estimating by the hour? And finally, what does your warranty cover? A true professional will have clear, confident answers for every single one of these. You know, we've spent this whole time focused on the battle happening under just one single house. But that really opens up a much bigger question, doesn't it? If this is the fight just for one home's plumbing, what does the war to maintain the invisible infrastructure of an entire coastal city even look like? Now, that's something to think about.